Alright, so I'm changing this track bar on this Ram. And, well, what I'm about to show you, you probably should not do. Honestly, I'd say just don't do it. But, you know, I'm nuts, so that's always a help. You know how they have these, it's like a nut with a piece of metal hooked to it? Well, you know, like anything else, it rots out, and then you can't break the bolt free. So to top that off, lucky me, or any of you, you can't fit the right size wrench through this opening. It's not big enough. So I took my grinder and I chopped it out, and I bent it down so that I could fit a what is that, 13/16 in there. And that was a really tight fit. I actually had to smack that on with a hammer because it's not really a size at all. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm trying to show you, but it's really blurry. Anyway, so that actually worked. I'm sure it's not safe. I'm planning on bending those back and welding them in again. But as you can see, it is actually turning, so I will get that apart. Anyway, I just figured I'd show you guys something that you shouldn't do. Alright, so I got that out. So you can see it's kind of like a nut, but it doesn't really have, I mean, it has a slight edge to it, but not much. The nut looks horrible, but the bolt itself looked fine. And luckily, since I save nuts and bolts like all of you should, it comes in handy to have extra nuts and bolts from whenever you tore something apart, you're going to scrap it. I take all kinds of bolts and shit and put them in there. I just happen to have the right size nut for this. So, I mean, it is the right size too, because even the wrench will fit on it, maybe. Well, it was just on it. Of course, it's going to make me a liar. I get too much stuff, guys. I really do. I can't even get to the workbench. I gotta step between stuff. Anyway, when I go to put this back on, there you go. I'll just put the nut up in there with the wrench, and there you go. That'll work. So you got the one bolt here on the passenger side, if you go to take this out, which I already showed you exactly how to not do it the right way. So make sure you don't do that. You get yourself hurt. And there's another bolt right down in there that I've already got loose. I just got to figure out a way to separate it. That's on the driver's side. Now, I've read you're never supposed to change a track bar with the tires off, you know, with the weight off of the suspension. So I wanted the tires out of my way, so I just put the jack stands under the axles, and there you go. Weight of the truck still on the suspension. I think it'll work. Where's that? Yeah. Nope. 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 I don't know where it is. Nope. That's a shame, ain't it? You get a new toolbox and you know where stuff is. Here we go. This is a big brass bar. Just a big solid chunk of brass. Nice soft metal. Shouldn't screw up the threads. I'm going to use it on this side. I left the nut flush with the end of the bolt anyway. But I'm going to put it on this side. Down in there like that. Smack it with a hammer. Should be able to knock that right out of there. And then since I got the other side out already, well, then the track bar will be out. Nice. I can, if you can't tell, I got ADD. But, wow, what was I saying? Yeah, after I get that out, then I'll drop the track bar out. And, all right, it is out. It took 2 taps with that big chunk of brass. And you can see I didn't hurt a thing. Yeah, that's nice. I noticed something too when I took this out. There is no Zerk fitting in the back. So, luckily, I have some. So that'll get a new one and get all pumped up with grease when I put it back together. Now you ain't gonna believe this, but when I took this out, this thing fell apart. That shouldn't do that. Look how wore out that is. That's awful. Now somehow you gotta knock that out. Looks like it comes out the other side, so I'm gonna have to flip this bar over. Loosen that up. And we'll turn the bar. Tighten the vise back up. And for some reason my pivot is loose. I know why. Because somebody else was using my vise. Anyway, gotta find a socket that's the same diameter as that. Let's see what we got. What is this? 30 mil. That is close. It's a little big. I could get it going with that though. So all I'm going to do is find a socket that fits this, put it on there, start hitting it with a hammer. I don't have a tripod on me, so you just have to take my word for it. I'll come back when I got it out. Well, try a little heat on it. I've been beating and beating and beating on this thing, and it just does not want to come out. Should try the air chisel on it. I might do that next. Go grab the air chisel. Oh man. They just don't want to come out. It's probably been in there from the factory. With all the other shit that I've done to this truck, I bet this has never been changed. Considering I just did front and rear brakes, rear brake lines, rear wheel cylinders. You guys know how much I've done on this truck. Definitely not worth all of it. It's just a hobby, you know, something to do. I just wanted to have something to drive in the winter and not keep destroying the Chevy. Well, I'm going to try to get this back apart now. Alright, so here you go. A little heat and a 27 millimeter. Bye-bye. I'm going to clean that up in there and put the new one in. So, as you can see, it's just being a total bitch going back together. I don't know if you can tell. It's crooked. Yep. That's alright. I'll get it in there one way or another. This damn thing's going back together. Tried pressing in with the vise. That wasn't happening. So now I'm just beating it back in using that same 27 millimeter. You know, it'll work. I'll get it together. I'll get it back in this wonderfully nice, beautiful, polished truck. Isn't it pretty? I think it looks alright actually. For what it is, looks pretty good. Anyway, so I'm just going to cut out here. It goes back in the same way it came out. Lots of cussing, lots of pulling, yanking, twisting shit. Yep, you'll get it back together. Alright guys, so don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. So, you know, don't forget to, yeah.